Welcome to another episode of YakAnglers Inside and Out. I'm your host, Jameson, and this week we're down in the Everglades for the Kayak Fishing Boondoggle. We're going to team up with Jim Sammons from the Kayak Fishing Show and his crew, Richardson, and follow those guys around and see what it takes to make the Kayak Fishing Show. Met up with Jim late last night and Will at the hotel. We headed into the park. The thing about the Everglades is you get to the park, you think you're there, right? No, it's still 40 miles till we get to the campsite, and we're inside the park. So we have to have everything ready to go, all of our food, all of our drinks, anything we want we got to have with us, because once we get in here, we're not going to be leaving. We're just going to be fishing and staying down here. So getting everything ready today, and we're heading in and just enjoying the scenic 35-mile-per-hour drive as we head into the park here.
15 mile per hour.
15 mile. Well, I'm cheating a little bit.
15 miles per hour and it's 35 miles. That means it's going to take us 2.5 hours to get to it.
I don't think I have enough gas. We finally make it to Flamingo and get the campsite all set up. It was time to hit the sack and get some rest for the next day.
We're rigging up for our first morning of fishing in the Everglades. But we're having to stay covered up because it's quite a few skeeters out here.
Getting eaten up this morning. These mosquitoes are terrible. Battery died in the camper. Roughing it a little bit more than we thought we would be.
I was roughing it. It was cold.
The next morning, Jim and I get started rigging to hit the water. But Will also has his work cut out for him. He's got to make sure all of his batteries are charged, that he has plenty of memory cards, and put all his gear into dry bags. All this work and he doesn't even get to fish. With everything loaded up, we head out to meet Chris Funk and his good friend, Robert Grigg. They are camping really close to us and are ready to hit the water. As soon as we get in the water and start paddling through the mangrove tunnels, Will goes right to work. After a few days of shooting down in Flamingo, it was time to head across the Everglades to the western side. We're going to team up with Esteban Gutierrez and Dre Stroman to chase after some more snook and possibly a tarpon, who knows.
This is what we look like at 5:30 in the morning. The guys who are taking us out told us that we'd be fishing at 5:30 in the morning, and then at 5:30 in the morning, actually at 5:45 in the morning, they texted us to tell us they'd be here in 40 minutes.
As we prep for the first morning with Esteban and Dre, they start to realize just how long it takes us to get going, as we get all the shots we need before we hit the water. Will has been doing this for a long time, and he really knows what it takes to make the Kayak Fishing Show.
Each episode takes us about 3 days to shoot on average, depending on the location. We have a lot of integrity. It sounds strange to put it that way, but the reality is that we try to show fishing as it is. So there's no cheating, no handoffs. We don't do handed off rods from support boats, none of that sort of thing. Basically, a lot of it's patience. A lot of it's just sitting there and waiting for something to happen. Fishing is fishing. I mean, we make it look easy because you're only seeing, if you count on any fishing show, you're only seeing maybe 6 to 10 fish per episode. Well, you think about your average day and you catch 3 fish. Well, over 3 days we can make it look a little bit easier because we show 10 fish, but fishing is always fishing. We have just as hard a time as everybody else catching fish, so that's kind of what it takes. It takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of sitting there, and always being prepared. Camera's got to be at the ready. If the camera's not at the ready, then you're going to miss the shot.
We hit the water, but the wind prevails, so we decide to have a little fun chasing some peacock bass in some old quarry ponds.
Well, that wraps up our day here in the Everglades. Tried to make the most of it. We dodged the wind all day, but caught a few fish. Nothing big, but definitely had a lot of laughs today, and that's just as important sometimes as having a fun day, and we definitely had a fun day.
The next day, we get a break in the weather and decide to push way back through the mangroves in search for some hungry fish. With the trip coming to an end, it was time to head back to the campsite and get some interviews knocked out. I get the chance to chat with Jim and find out what led him to become the host of the Kayak Fishing Show. So Jim, I spent all week on the water with you, and you know what, we caught some fish, we had a good time, but seeing behind the scenes of making the Kayak Fishing Show, I really have a better appreciation, or a truer appreciation, of what you guys have to go through to actually bring this show to the public. So tell me, how did you get started in all this? How did you become the host of the Kayak Fishing Show? And before that, how did you even get started in kayak fishing?
Well, you're going back over 20 years. Started kayak fishing because I couldn't afford a boat, just like a lot of guys, and I was introduced to kayaks, touring boats, by my father-in-law, and just fell in love with them, fell in love with paddling. And when I saw the very first sit on tops, I'm like, oh, this is gonna make a much better fishing vessel than my surfboard, because I was fishing off of those before. And years down the road, just my passion for the sport and just happenstance and luck, I ran into the right people. I met Ken Whiting, my producer, at a trade show, and just pitched an idea at him, and he bit, and changed my life.
A lot of passion, a little bit of luck, and hard work.
Yeah, it's a lot more hard work than people want to believe, but I love it, and I'm going to ride this pony as long as I can.
I think that's why people relate to the show, is that they can tell your passion in the show, in the making of the show. You're passionate about it, you love it, you want to be there, and that shows through the episode. I mean, I've been watching the show since it started. I used to DVR it, my buddies would come over, we would sit on the couch literally and just wish that we could be where you were at. And now I'm here with you fishing, and it's awesome just seeing everything that goes on to make that show. People don't realize how much work it really is. At the same time, you guys do get to see a lot of cool places and have a lot of fun. And so I really appreciate you letting me follow you around all week, and hope I get to do it again sometime.
Oh, well, you're part of the team now. You've been, with us a few times, and we always have a great time.
Absolutely.
And of course, you got to give a lot of props to Will. Will
Absolutely.
works as hard, if not harder, than anybody on this show. Because if you think having a slow fishing day is tough for the fishermen, try being a cameraman who has to watch us try to catch fish.
Not get to even take a rod on the water with
Exactly. So much props to Will Richardson. He works hard and has done a great job making the show what it is.
I really want to thank Jim and Will for letting me tag along and find out what it takes to make the show. I learned a new appreciation for how hard these guys work and had a blast while doing it. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out YakAngler.com for more videos, including tech talks, interviews, and bloopers from this episode. Until next time, I'm your host, Jameson Redding, and this has been YakAnglers Inside and Out. YakAnglers Inside and Out is brought to you by Bending Branches, Pretty Smart Paddles, Yakatech, Rigging the Dream, Jackson Kayak, we make fun.